Hi, my name is Reet and I'm here to interview Mr. Vishal Manocha today. He's an RCIC and the owner and director of Networth Immigration Solutions. He's been in this industry for more than 15 years and I'm going to ask him questions today regarding spouse PR sponsorship. Good morning, Mr. Vishal.
Good morning, Mr. Reet. I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Okay, so my first question to you is, who can actually sponsor a spouse?
First of all, definitely a sponsor needs to be eligible to sponsor a spouse. The eligibility criteria to sponsor is that person should be at least 18 years old. So somebody who is, say, 16 years get married, but they cannot still sponsor a spouse or a PR. Secondly, the person should be Canadian citizen, living in Canada or outside Canada, or a person who has got a permanent residency in Canada.
Okay.
The third requirement is that they should be not on any social assistance and should be capable of providing a basic needs to their sponsors. So if they meet all these requirements, they are eligible to sponsor their spouse on a spousal PR application.
Okay, and can one sponsor only their married spouse, or can I sponsor somebody else as well?
Okay, now when we talk about spousal sponsorship application, there are three categories under which you can sponsor your partners. One is spouse, second is common law partner, and third is the conjugal partner. So these are the three categories under which this application can be made and you can sponsor your partner for a PR application.
Can you go a little more in detail about common law partner and conjugal partner?
Okay, spouse is obviously when you get married to somebody and you've got a marriage certificate. Definitely you need a marriage certificate, not a license. If you have that, then yes, you can sponsor your spouse. Common law partner is if, say, the person is already in Canada and both have not married but they are living together from last 1 year. And that is called a common law relationship. The difference between common law and conjugal partner is, the only difference is they still need to have a 1 year relationship, but in conjugal the other person may not be residing in Canada.
Okay.
Because of some barrier or because of some reason they cannot unite till they are here. So the person difference main is in common law partner the person is in Canada, and in conjugal partnership the person, they are still into relationship but the person is not in Canada, may be residing outside Canada.
Okay. I also heard about some kind of financial undertaking. Is there any undertaking and...
Yes, every category of sponsorship application does involve some undertaking.
Okay.
Under the spousal PR application, the undertaking term is 3 years.
Okay.
So from the day the person become a permanent resident, not from the date of application, but the day the person become a permanent resident, you have to have an undertaking for 3 years. For those 3 years, you need to provide them all basic social needs. And you also need, and the good thing about this sponsorship, as compared to parents and grandparents, you don't need to meet any income requirement.
Okay.
There's an exemption under this sponsorship if you're sponsoring your spouse or their dependent under this application. Yeah, if you have a dependent, yes, then you have to. But if you're just sponsoring your spouse or a partner, then you don't have any income requirement. But yes, there is an undertaking for 3 years.
Okay. Can one withdraw this undertaking?
Yes, the undertaking can be withdrawn, but before the decision has been made. So once the decision has been made, a permanent residency has been granted to the person who has been sponsored, then you cannot withdraw the sponsorship. It has to be withdrawn before that. And again, the CIC will still take the scenario into consideration why the sponsorship has been withdrawn. If everything goes, it seems fine, yes, the person can withdraw the sponsorship.
Okay. Okay, my next question is, what is the difference between sponsoring the spouse under family law and in Canada class?
Okay, your question is basically difference between sponsoring somebody under a spousal in Canada class or under family.
Right.
Okay, so under family, the person who can sponsor somebody under a family class is the one, say example, you are married to somebody but the person is outside Canada, or the person is in Canada but have no plan of staying together when the application is in the process. Under that scenario, you submit an application under family class.
Okay.
But if you are in Canada, say both person are in Canada, one person is a permanent resident, the other one has a legal status in Canada, they can sponsor the same category, comes under spousal in-class sponsorship program.
Okay.
So there's a difference here. The person who is outside Canada under family class, the person in Canada will be sponsored under in-Canada spousal application.
Okay. And can the person being sponsored in Canada class work while the application?
Yes, that's when we do a PR application. The good thing about this application, you can also at the same time apply for a spousal open work permit.
Okay.
So, but the only criteria is the person should have a legal status in Canada when you're doing this application. Along with the same of PR application, you can submit an open work permit application. So within a couple of months or 3 months, the application gets approved, and while the decision is made on the PR application, this person can work full time on an open work permit.
Okay, that's good
Yeah.
to know. Okay, and what is the cost of the sponsorship?
The cost of sponsorship, the government fees involved into the sponsorship is $550,
Okay.
which is the application fees. Then 490 is the landing fees. So total is cost to the client is 1040 Canadian dollars to do this application.
Okay, and just a scenario. If I, for example, have called my spouse, but something has happened, things are not working out, we get divorced. Can I sponsor another person?
Yes, you can, but there's again restrictions here. For example, you are the person who sponsored, then you cannot sponsor anybody else on a PR for the coming 3 years.
Okay.
And if you are the person who was sponsored and came to Canada on a PR, then that restriction goes to 5 years. So you cannot
Okay.
sponsor somebody else for the next 5 years under the same class.
Okay.
So there's a restriction for 3 years for the person who sponsored, and who got sponsored has a restriction of 5 years to sponsor anybody else.
Okay. I think that was it, Mr. Vishal. I have got all my bases covered. And if there's anything else I need to know or our viewers need to know, they can definitely contact you at Networth Immigration Solutions. Networth Immigration Solutions also offers all other kinds of immigration solutions like the name suggests, like permanent residence, express entry, PNP, TRV, work permit, and everything else related to immigration. So you can definitely visit their office at 2 County Court Boulevard, Brampton. And thank you so much.
Thank you.